Yeah, here we are. It's Friday again already. Yeah, so I had to take one day off to move a bunch of snow around out here. You can see a video of that somewhere on there. But now, what's been happening with the car? Well, I've got some more. I'm still working, mostly on the gas tank this week. But I'll show you how things are doing. I did a little bit of like putty work on there just to see what would happen, and it looks like it comes out pretty smooth. Needs more work, and I'll build up a bit of experience on that sort of stuff. The gas tank is coming along all right. Now today I made up this sheet here that goes for the guard, right? And then we've been through that. Now I'm working on the second sheet, which is this one here. It's supposed to look like this one here eventually, which except for that upper corner. So this is the top of it down here. I'll call it top. Whoops, down here. And I've got to put a piece in there with a bend going that way. So I'll figure that out and just weld it into place, I think. Then the gas tank, here I am. Oh boy, no wetness. No wetness anywhere, so I do believe we have a working model gas tank there now. I'll put some heat to this edge in here and just see if any steam comes out, and I'll put some heat over here on this edge here that I repaired to see if any steam comes out, but I'm pretty confident that it's a working model. I have to fix this pipe here. Now I've been working on that in my brain, and I think what I'll do is I'll see if I can get a piece onto here somehow connected to, like this is just soldered. Whoops. This stuff here is just soldered on there, eh? So I'll see if I can connect a piece on here below that thing there and make that pipe proper again, but it's all rusty there. So maybe I'll just take these all and cut them all off and put a new piece up from here. We'll see what happens. I'll see what I can do about that. Interesting. Anyway, like I said, it's Friday, so time for another video to go out here, maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight. And if you want to see what's been happening, just keep on watching. Get a week's worth of gas tank. What the hell, eh? Thanks. Bye for now. Yeah, here I am. It's take a look at the gas tank now. Now I went and I took a pretty good look at it. Well, number one, this is where the fuel comes out of it, pipe and stuff, and that's where the thing for registering the level of gas on it goes right there. So I took that out, and then I made sure there was no gas left in it, and then I took some water and I swished it all around in there and drained it back out again. So I'm fairly confident it's not going to be any fumes or any serious fumes in there that'll create a problem, because I'll be grinding on this a bit. And then over here, this part here is mostly, that's superficial there, but I need to get a piece of metal in here that's stronger than what's there now. And then there's this, what I'll call a rock guard. This is actually the muffler guard to keep heat away from it. That's pretty damn thin, so I'll make a new one of them. And then over on this other side, this is a rock guard behind the wheels, and it's getting pretty thin, so I'll make a new one of them and see what it comes out like. So anyway, that's my project for now. Whilst I'm waiting on other parts for up there, I might as well fix this thing up. There's another little problem right here. I don't know if you can see that, but that right there, broken broken fuel line. So I'll address that somehow or other. I don't know how for sure yet, but I'm pretty sure I can figure that out. I'll likely have to take, there's this little thing that supports all three of the lines, so maybe I'll just cut that all off and put new line from here up in each case, and that way that would be likely the best way to handle it. Anyway, there we go. That's all for now. I'll just carry on. Yeah, there you go. I cut a piece of metal that will fit over all that. I'll make it so it goes and fits on about like there somewhere. And see if I can fix that up. It looks like it takes a double piece of metal there, but I don't want to break that off before I get the first one cut. Because there's a couple of swoops and curves in there. Then I'll cut this around here and just take that out of there and weld the new piece in. Now I did swish a bunch of water around in there. I think I told you that, so that it's safe to be cutting and chopping on. But then while I noticed that it was all along the edge here a little bit pushed out with rust right there. So I pounded on it a bit with a hammer, and then I'll grind this back and see how it is. And if it's okay, then I'll just weld a little bit of a lip on there. If it's not okay, I'll have to get a new tank. But I think it'll be okay because the inside of the tank is spotless clean. I don't know, you can't really see in there, but like I have to shine the light in there and it's spotless in there. So we'll just see what I can do with it. I'll see if I can salvage this tank. There now, can you see that? I don't know. Yeah, there you can see. I drilled a bunch of holes in here. That hole here, whoops, that hole here, and this are to be bolted onto the car. That's where the bolts go through. And then I've got another piece of metal. Oh, let me get this up here. There we go. Same size, same shape, without the holes in it. So I'm going to weld these two together with those spot welds. Then I'll make it fit to this thing here in a kind of here. It'll go on there and fit to there. So what I'll do is I'll get them welded together, and then I'll put a hole through here with a screw, and a hole through here with a screw, and I'll cut it out for the most part exactly where it's supposed to be. Then I'll be able to have those holes there to be able to weld the back bit in, and then I'll cut that out afterwards along the edge here to get the rest of it welded onto the right spot. Anyway, I'll show you as I go. Yeah, so here's another noisy tool that John gave me. He actually gave me the grinder. It had two grinding stones, like there's a grinding stone here, and there used to be another grinding stone there. But I found this little wheel apparatus that I was able to modify and put on here, and it's got a 36-inch belt for grinding. And it's the greatest thing for cleaning off these, number one, and number two, it's really good for cleaning up all the little curves and stuff, so it looks pretty good when you're done with it. Great little tool. And then you can also grind here with that, so there you go. It's got again, it's likely about 75 years old, and it's got a huge, like I think that's a 3 horsepower motor in there. So nothing will stop it, that's for sure. Anyway, I'll carry on. Yeah, there we go. We're all clamped together and set to weld all these little spots, and I'll put some along the edge too, I think. See how that works out. Show it to you after a while. Yeah, there's the first brush at it. I'll go and do a bunch of work on the grinder and show you, and again when I get that done. Yeah, there I've got it clamped on where it's supposed to be, that hole. I don't know if you can see my finger through there. Yeah, that hole there lines up, and this thing here kind of lines up. And then I drilled a hole here can't see through it, but I drilled a hole here and I drilled a hole here with it clamped on. Then when I let the clamps go, easier said than done sometimes, then the hole is here and the hole is here. So I've got it outlined here with this black mark where to cut it. But I'm going to cut it along here on this side of it and cut this all out and cut that along that side of it over here and then cut it out, cut that all out. Then I'll put a screw in here and hold it, and put a screw in here and hold it, and then I'll spot weld it along here. Take this stuff, finish cutting that out, and then I should be able to drop it in there and weld it. See what happens. Not spot welded, it was tack welded along here somewhere. Anyhow, we'll see how it goes. Well, here now I sit on a little bit of a dilemma. So I cut that piece out, and it looks pretty good. It fits in there nicely. But when I trimmed in here, I trimmed a bit close to there's a little bit of a seam right here, and that's the sealing seam, or seal, S-E-A-L. And so now, there's still some water inside there, and I tipped it up and the water leaked out. So now I have to do some welding on that bit to make it not leak anymore, we hope. And I said to myself, well, if it leaks like that, maybe I'll go get a new one. But I looked up on the new ones, and I only found one somewhere, and it's about $1,000 for a new tank. So I said to myself, I think I'll be fixing the old tank if I can. So I've got, what have I got here? I don't know if you ever recognize these damn things, but here it is. I'll put it out here. That's a steam cleaner for cleaning. Well, I've never cleaned steam, but it's for cleaning stuff with steam. It actually works pretty good on leather upholstery. So I'm just going to turn it on and stick it in this hole right here and let it steam the hell out of that. Then I'll do a flash test on it and see if it's holding any sort of vapors. And after that, when I do welding on it, I'll hook the vacuum cleaner into this hole here and let air flow through it so that I don't have a vapor buildup in there. Then I think I'll be safe, but we'll find out. I'll check it out. Yeah, so there's the steamer working. I'll stick it in here and let it have at it for a while. I've got that on a dead man switch with electric tape. When it runs out of water, I'll just unplug it. Yeah, it must be working because the whole tank is getting pretty damn hot. You can cook an egg on that pretty near. I'll just let it run, and that'll be good. Yeah, there we go. The FedEx guy brought brand new brake calipers for the front of it today. Now I had the old ones there. I was working on them, but this little bit here, the bleeder thing, it was stripped. Well, it wouldn't come out. It broke, and then I was able to drill it out, but the hole was pretty loose for a new one in there. So I decided, well, it's a safety thing, so better put new brake calipers on. Yeah, here we go. We'll check and see if it's going to blow up. I think it's okay. Yeah, it looks like nothing blowing up there, so I think it's okay to do some cutting and welding on it. Try that again. Yeah, so the phone's been recording in my pocket for about an hour. So there's a piece from the underside. That's the underside. I'll flip it over here and have a look at the upper side, clean it up a bit. Yeah, and there's the upper side of it. Now, I turned it over and a little bit of water still leaked out of it, so, but it was right here. So I may not have gone far enough. I might have to cut it out to about here and see if I can get it to not leak for me. Anyhow, I'll carry on and give it a try. Yeah, there we go. That's rust-free here now, and I think it's leak-free too. I'll do a good check on it tomorrow. I'll put some air pressure to it and a little bit of soapy water. Now this one here, I still have to fix there was a hole right, oops, there was a hole right there. So I'll fix that. And then there's a couple of spots over on this side where a little bit crusty. So maybe I'll take a look at them, but otherwise it seems to be coming along all right. And I guess I don't have to spend $1,000 to get a new one. But up here, there's, I don't know if you can see this, yeah? That's a little bit of a hole in there. So what I'll do is I'll cut this off here, about here. Then I'll cut these hoses off right about there. And then put rubber hose up from there. And I think that'll be fine because it just goes rubber hose into the car from there anyhow. There we go. That's all for today. I'm done for today. Yeah, so it always turns into a bigger project than what you expect. Anyhow, here's where I did the original bit on it. Then I cut in pretty close to the tank here, so the seal part was broken and it would leak through. So I had to cut it back out and then weld along the seal part just to join those two together, weld my two pieces together again along the edges, and then weld it all in there, which was quite a bit of a process. And then same thing over here. This one was simpler, just a little tiny, there was a hole right here, rust hole, and so I just took it out and was able to repair that. And another little bit right over here that I'm going to put a little bit of steel in there, but I'll be careful not to cut too far back. And then underneath, give me a minute, I'll show you. Now here on the underside, I've got it all sealed in there and all sealed in here and everything around here. But over here, the tank is sort of split here. And then my welding torch got a bit close right around here somewhere and burnt a hole in the one side. So then what I did to that was I welded it in the hole as well as I could, but it was still leaking. So then I went and I cleaned it all up and I did what they call tinning. And tinning is, you clean it all up well and then you put this, what do I got here? Lead-free tinning flux on it. So you clean it all up with the grinder and get everything out of it. Put that lead-free tinning flux on it. And then use everyday old solder and fill it up with, well, this is lead-free solder, but it sticks to that if you tin it properly. And that stopped that leak there. So I'll just let that be, and I'm happy with that result. Yeah, there we go. That's all repaired. Now I've got some water in it there, and I've just got it hanging up so to see if anything leaks out of it. But I think I got it fairly well cured. Here's where I did those other repairs on it, one right here and one right up here. So they were just superficial stuff on the edges. So I think that's all the fuel tank repair I have to do for today. Yeah, so I guess I'm not done yet. Just very, very, very slow, but a little bit of a leak comes out. I imagine it's migrating down from here and past that weld there and then into here somehow. So I'll have to just cut it back here, get rid of this stuff here, cut it back there, and then weld it tight along that wall there, and then put a new piece in. That's what worked over here, anyhow. Or that's what worked over in here. Well, no. More to go. Yep, here you are. Serious failure. It leaks all the way along here. And that's because when I cut along here, I didn't close the gap and seal it so that it would be a sealed thing, and then the liquid gets in between the two layers here and just leaks out. So I screwed myself. So now I'll just have to cut this bit out again. I think we're okay from here. So I'll cut this bit out and see if I can't get that to come together properly. We'll just see what happens. Yeah, so while the leaky gas tank is just sitting there figuring it out, whether it's leaking more, I figure I'll start working on this piece here. You see that groove up the middle there, and then it's got the top maybe looks like that. So what I did, I cut out a piece of metal, about the same, and I put that groove in there with this thing here, which is a groove maker, whatever you call it. Now, for the top bit, where did I put it? Well, here it is. So I just put this on up against my piece of steel here. Then I traced out that little bit along the top here. And then now I've got it built here, so now figure out how it goes. Yeah, so the big end comes out here. Oops. Hang on a minute, I'll put this on the vise to show you. Yeah, so here now I've got that in the vise there, and the curve is close to what it's supposed to be, but this thing here is likely closer because I've traced it right off the thing. And then I'll weld this on here, end to end, and I think that'll come out just about right. I'll sort of measure at this end here where that little lumpy thing goes to, and then weld that on here, and then it'll make it a nice little piece. I'll drill a couple of holes in it like it has over here. One hole here, one hole here, and I was able to retrieve those little rubber bumpers that come out of there. So that's going on, and then the next thing is out of the bottom here, it's got a little bit of a whoopty to it, a little bit of a curve to it. So I'll take the English wheel and I'll just put a bit of a curve on the bottom of this right along here. There. Now, how's it doing over at the gas tank here? So I went along and I cut out a whole bunch of stuff that I'd put in there. Nothing like redos. Now, it doesn't look like it's leaking excessively. One little drip of water. So I'll find out what that came from, and I'll get it stopped, and then maybe I'll have a leak-free gas tank. We'll just keep on trying anyhow. Yeah, the water seems to be coming from right in here where I had did that bit of tinning before. There's a little bit of a hole right here, and then when it was real hot, when I was welding all along here, it likely just blew the solder out of there. So I'll resolder that. I'll clean it up and re-tin it, and then see if it still leaks. There, I think that's going. I'll just show you how to do some wheeling. I need to put my gloves on for this. So it's just this lower edge of it here that's going to get wheeled. Put it in, and then put some pressure on it. Now, which way? Wrong way. So, if you want the curve, which in this case I want the curve to go this way, I wonder if you can see that. If you want the curve to go this way, then you got to put that side, the outside of the curve up. Give it a little bit more tension. Now the tension is caused by this whole thing is a structure that causes tension on it. So it's sort of a spring-loaded thing. Now you got to keep on the same line here for this little bit here. That came over. There we go. Anyway, there you go. It's got a bit of a curve in there now, and that's about all it's going to get out of me today. But the other one only has a very slight curve on it. You have to look close to see it, so that'll be good. Anyway, there you go. That's your wheeling and dealing. Yeah, so here now I'll figure it out. The tinning is all done. I'll just put it up on its end and see if I have any leaks anywhere else. Hopefully that holds. Yeah, now back to this. I've got these magnets that are, can you see that? I think you can see it. Yeah, right angle magnets. You stick them on there, and then I just lay this other piece on the top of it, and then line it up to where it's supposed to be. Now this little black mark right here is where the shoulder is. That's the measurement to this shoulder here, measured off of this right here. So I'll have to, after I'm done, I'll just cut out that little bit there, make it right. But for now, I'll just put that on there. And that lines up pretty not too badly. I'm going to make it so that it sits over the top of the piece of metal below, because it's got this hoopy thing in here. And I'll tack it on a couple here, and then I'll straighten out this end out here. The curve is pretty close to right there, but not perfect yet. There, now I tacked it on. I tacked it on here, here, and here. Now I'll just straighten out this metal a bit here so it lines up right. And it seems to follow the curve pretty good now. So I'll just go ahead and weld it on there. Then I'll turn it over and weld it on the back. And then I'll clean up this side. For the back side, I don't know. Yeah, the back side I should clean up too. I'll see what happens. See how I can get done. There, that side there. That side there. There's some pretty good English for you. That side is done. Well, not done. But first run across. Now I'll turn it around backwards and I'll do the back side. Then I'll start cleaning it up a bit and see how it looks out. Yeah, so here's the back side. Now I haven't done any welding on it yet, but you can see where it's got pretty good penetration from the front side coming through there. So I'll be able to put a little bit of weld in there, just what they call pulse welding, and then I'll start cleaning it up. Now, if you think I'm such a smart guy for doing all that stuff, well, it's not my ideas. I get it all from Fitzy's Fabrication. You find him on the YouTube, and he's a guy from Newfoundland, and boy, he's got a lot of good tips if you're doing some sheet metal work. There, now that thing there's welded up pretty good. I'll take along, and you can see right in here, it's pretty hot there, but you can see here a little bit more welding to do right there. And a couple other spots out here, but I'll take the grinder and clean it all up, have a look at it, and then decide what else it needs. Yeah, back to the gas tank. So this is where I did the tinning on it, and there hasn't been any drippage yet. So I'm just going to leave it. It's been on here for about an hour now. I'm going to leave it overnight, see if anything drips, and then tomorrow morning I'll come and put some heat to it and see if anything gets steamy. If it gets steamy, then that's leaking. Hopefully I've got it done. We'll just see tomorrow. I gotta shut her down for tonight anyhow. Gotta shut this thing off once it quits all that noise it makes. Here's this panel here, pretty close to done. Still got a couple of little pinholes in here. But boy, that looks not bad. There's the original sitting right on top of it, same angles everywhere, so I think I can be happy with that. And this thing here is it's a guard for the gas tank. It's keep the rocks and stuff off of it. So that should be okay. Anyhow, that's all for today. Yeah, here we are, next day, whatever day it is, Thursday today. Anyhow, good news today, no leaks found on the gas tank. So what'll I do? I guess I'll finish up on this piece of the guard that I was working on. Won't take much to finish that up now. And then I have another piece of, this is the what I call a heat shield for the gas tank. So the muffler goes along in here on the side of the gas tank. So this part goes over the gas tank like that. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out later. Somehow it hooks up there and guards the gas tank. So that'll be, oh yeah, it makes quite a bit of room because it fits in. It fits in like here. And then there's a big air gap behind it, so that makes a good heat shield. Anyway, I'll carry on. I'll finish this up. I'll show it to you when it's done. Yeah, here we are. Got it done. Even those little black things are in these little bumpers here are for they hit up against the gas tank so it doesn't get whack, whack, whack all the time. And then I had to do a little bit of modifying here because to make it sort of fit into the part, another bolt has to go up here that's independent of this thing. And that's the main hanger bolt for the gas tank, and then this one here is just to hold it on there. And I cut out this bit here the way it was on the original one, over here somewhere. So it looks about the same. And it seems to fit on everywhere. So that one there is a success. And it looks like the gas tank is a success. Now I have to just weld it all back together, all that stuff that holds it all together. That's next on the list. Yeah, so there's the guard. It's a heat guard that goes along the gas tank and is getting pretty weak. I'm pretty sure I could clean it up, but by the time I cleaned it up, I'd find lots of holes in the metal. So, see if I can make this piece of metal look like that piece of metal. And I've got these little things here that they butt up against the gas tank, so that keeps that thing from rattling on the gas tank. Now I did finish the other one. Did I show you that? There it is, all done. I didn't clean up the back of it there too much. So I just wanted to leave the strength in that. But it should work because I fitted it on the tank and it seems to work. And the tank, now where's the tank? Over here. It's all back together again. And I think it's a non-leaking variety of tank. So that's okay. That was quite a bit of work. And then, so I fixed it all up in there, and then I fixed it up in here a little bit too. There's a couple of spots where it was a little bit crusty right here. I've got to put a new piece of metal in, and here I just grinded it out, the bad bit, and then put a bit of weld in there to hold it together. Up on the top, it looks kind of crusty up here, but I banged on it with a hammer, and there's nothing in between the sheets, so it's good. And that's the way it'll stay. Now I still have to fix this pipe here, or fix those pipes there. I'll see what I come up with for a plan for that soon. But I'll do the guard first. Yeah, there's the first start. I got it kind of bent in the right way. Now I'm going to take and put these hoopy things in all the way along. It's not quite as long as that one, but I might just cut it off around here. And there's a bit of a complex curve there that I've got to figure out how to do. So, anyhow, but first off, we'll put these hoopy things in. Then we'll start cutting it to the right shape. Maybe I should cut it to the right shape first and then put the hoopy things in. We'll think about that. Anyway, that's all for now. Yeah, so I'm back on this. Now I have to put a little bit of a edge on here. You can see on this one here, there's a bit of an edge on there, maybe 45 degrees. I think I'll just put that in with the bender thing. That's it on the ground now. And I'll see how that works out. I got my bender thing back here. I'll just show you. I'll set up the camera here and see what I can do about this. There. That's not a bad camera angle there. Now I'll do a bunch of clipping on this thing later so you don't get bored. So the bend that I need isn't too big. It's about halfway along there and about there. About there it's supposed to be. But then I've got these, what do you call these things that are the bumpy things on there? So they kind of make it difficult to get it into the tank. There we go. Right about there is where it is. I'll just tighten it down. And it's only about a 45-degree angle, so just pull it up to about there. That's about what it gets right there. That's not bad. Not exactly perfect, but not too bad. Now, there's a couple of tabs here. You see this tab right here, and another tab right there. They go a bit deeper, and they bend out a little bit more to those rubber bumpers go in there. So I'll flatten that out with a hammer on the anvil, and then I'll bend it a little bit differently again. Well, we'll see. There you go. Yeah, so I've got to, excuse me, I got to clean off that finish that comes out of the system whenever they build this stuff. There's a gray finish on it, so I use this thing with the sander on it. And whatever you got to clamp metal in. Yeah, so there you go, nice and shiny, fairly smooth edges. I can take it on the grinder and make those edges smoother, but I'll worry about that a little bit later. This piece that I just cleaned up there, it's going to turn into the piece that goes in here. So what I have to do is I have to bend the circle in it, which is not too tough to do. I'll just do that on here, and then sort of cut it off so that it sits right. So there'll be a little bit of a hoopy cut in there, and then it'll go off that way. We'll figure it out, and I'll show you how I do it. Show you how it's, well, I'll show you something anyhow. Yeah, here, so now I made this line along here. That will be, if I cut that, then this should sit on a bit of an angle like that on top there. But we'll check it out. And then I've got to put those hoopy things in here, so I'll put them in with this thing here before I weld it on there. See what happens when I cut it. Might be a trial and error thing, everything is. There, I think I've got it pretty close to my liking now. I've got the curve cut in there, and then when it goes on here, it sits at that angle that I want. So now I'll put my hoopy things in here, and then I'll see if I can attach that on there. to my satisfaction. See what happens. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. There, now I've got my bead maker set up in here. Now I've got to tighten it down to where I want it. So this wrench here to tighten up the back bolt. This wrench here to tighten up the front bolt. Well, this one here puts pressure downward on the whole thing. Now I've got this other nut in here that makes the same. If I cut it, if I bring it right down to that, where that nut is, then that makes the same bead that's in that other piece that I have out there. So I'll just go along. There's bead number 1 done. Now I just have to loosen this one off. Loosen the back one off. This back one just holds it square so that the thing doesn't move around. One more to go. I gotta take it right out of there and turn it around this way so that it doesn't hit on stuff. It's hitting on the edge of it there. That looks like about the right spot. There now. Give it an old turn. That'll be that done. There. Now I got a little bit of straightening work to do on that bit there because I stretched it a bit, but I don't know, can you see that? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 hoops in there, and then it should sit on that angle properly. I'll weld it on, then I'll weld it on, then I'll cut out the proper shape, and then we'll see where we go from there. Anyway, I'll put away this thing. There we go. I'm going to, so I got this bent a little bit more to be the same bend as on here. Now, I've got this pretty damn close to where I want it. So I'm going to start welding along here, and then I'll bend it a bit to make it fit to that as I go along. See how it works out. Might have to cut it off and do it again. You never know what happens. Well, you know what could happen. There we go. It's got it all welded on there now. Right across. Now, I did cheat a little bit. Right from here to here, it fit very, very well. But then it kind of bent up and there was a big gap in here. So I put a little bit of a wedge. Just took a bit of steel that wide and then made it into a pointy bit and made a wedge to fit into that bit and that bit there, but you can't tell the difference now. And it's all pretty solid, so now I have to cut it along here somehow or other, but I'll put the original piece up there as a guide and just see what we do. Yeah, there it is. It's all pretty well done now. The got the holes drilled in it where they're supposed to be. This top end here is pretty close. Not exactly as it is in the original, but these tangs here seem to be right. And then they got the little rubber thing on there. I don't know. Can you see that? Perhaps. And then I trimmed it out. There's a little trim spot right in there. I don't know why. Find out later. And so should be okay for to go on around the gas tank. Now, looks like the gas tank's done. So I'll just clean it up a bit and then get rid of the water out of there. And then I'll fix this. This is next. Fix that. Do something about it anyhow. Don't know yet. Don't know what to do about that. Yeah, there we go. There's a pretty simple fix. I went and just cut that bit of bad out of there and put this piece of rubber in between. It's not a pressure fit anyhow. It's just a vapor thing that goes in and out of the tank. So it should be good. Anyway, that'll work for me. Looks like I'm not the only guy that had a repair on this tank. That was done, don't know when, a long time ago, before I had the car. There's looks like a piece of copper in there because it's green now. And it's soldered in, tinned in there. Isn't that something? Anyhow, it's a repaired tank now, and this is fixed up. I'm gonna just go ahead and put some rust paint on it just to make it look a little bit better, but not too worried about it. Mostly it's pretty good. Yeah, so there's one of the guards right there. And then the other guard that I made right there. And then the gas tank. So we're all set to go with fuel now. Now I have to get, next on the list is putting the brake lines and stuff in before I get too engaged in putting that gas tank back into it, because I got lots of headroom with the gas tank out. Makes it easy. Oop, nothing in there. But I might be able to put the shock absorbers on and lift that rear end up. Maybe, maybe not. We'll think about it. That's about it for this week. So I'll put together a little movie. Hope you like it. And I'll see what we get on to next week. Just keep on going, I guess.